I'm Adam Stewart. I'm the Executive Chairman of Sandals Resorts International.
Adam, great to have you here. It's great to be back. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking to expect here at the forum.
Well, we've been separated for obvious reasons for the last couple of years. The Caribbean Hotel and Tourist Association has been the unifier of Caribbean travel and all things Caribbean. Everything from distribution, aviation, flights, connectivity, linkages on the ground and what's happening in the various islands. And there's a huge energy in the room to be back together. The Caribbean has been the fastest recovering tourism region on planet Earth in the aftermath of COVID, which is something we're incredibly proud of. I think many key decisions were made early in the Caribbean to keep travelers safe and get them moving in the early days. And our job here is to amplify that, not just to recover to 2019, but to far exceed it. And many destinations are already ahead of 2019, and we're looking forward to taking more market share to what we believe is the most beautiful part of the world.
It's great to hear, and it's great to see the Caribbean leading the way too. Tell me a little bit about what you see as being how we're building back better and how we're building back different to before COVID.
There are sort of what people would call the new normal. We're seeing heavier private aviation and private travel into the Caribbean like we've never seen before in the history of Caribbean travel. It's allowed us to look at our tourism products, make sure that they're as clean as they can be, as safe as they can be, creating these ecosystem and environments where customers can come and enjoy. And all of that rolls up into ultimately what is experiential. So the Caribbean have the mountains, they have the rivers, the coffee farms. Of course, we have the sun, sand, and sea, most incredibly electric blue waters. And we, as a tourism body, this archipelago of a massive landmass of ocean, are just looking at it entirely. And conferences like this allow us to come together and think much larger than a single island state, at a macro level, as to what can we do with this region, and how can we open the mind of curiosity to get travelers to come here rather than going to other parts of the world. And I think the Caribbean is poised for huge growth on a go-forward basis. The history, the culture, all of it coming together, and CHTA is going to try to unify that message in this conference.
It's really good to hear. In terms of that growth, how do you, a big theme for you, I've noticed you pioneered it very much as an individual and through Sandals, but how do we make that growth sustainable?
I think, the consumer today, everything comes back to time and place and where we are. What we did 30 years ago in tourism vis-a-vis today, there are always elements. There's always service, there's always different level of segmentation involved. There's always a sun, sand, and sea when you're in a sun-hot destination. Today, ESG means more to consumers than ever before. The way we're developing our tourism towns, the elements of direct give back are critical to discuss and see how we can advance. We are developing states across the Caribbean, what the world would call third world. Tourism being the largest economic driver has the ability to allow us to achieve the economic goals and achieve all of what our most mature product could look like. I think a lot of it is strategic to really making sure that what we're doing today is building towards something in the next 5 to 10 years. The Caribbean has been the darling of the Americas and Europe for many years. It's a destination that people know. It's a destination that people trust. It's a destination that people are emotionally connected with. So as we look forward to make it more sustainable, we need to have a bigger seat at the table for these types of conversations. So it's not just a churn and burn, getting people to come, some sun, sand, and sea, and then leave. It's really the story, having them write a part of the history of what the future history books are going to look like to do with this region. And that goes for everything from coral restoration, our wildlife, our national parks. We've made many inroads. In Jamaica, for example, the Jamaica Blue Mountains, our UNESCO World Heritage Site. Fascinating history, fascinating product that comes out of it completely undiscovered. I mean, truly from a mainstream tourism point of view, completely undiscovered. So there's so much more here of a story that we have not yet told the world that we're dialing into now as we look forward and making sure that that's how we pull more market share in a sustainable way.
Really interesting. And sustainability, I think, thinking about that from a people perspective too, you've been kind of pioneering really excellence in hospitality and service throughout your kind of career. Tell me a little bit about sort of your philosophy when it comes to developing great people and a great culture in an organisation, so that the travel sector can continue to deliver world-class service.
Yeah, I think it's destination and it's natural beauty. It's the physical that we build, but those two things without the human capital side, they're just buildings and views. And what makes hospitality stand out on the difference in excellence in hospitality is down to our people. Exposure is the single greatest thing that we can do for anyone in any business anywhere in the world. Taking people and exposing them to another way, to a world-class way. What the Sandals Corporate University has tried to do in Sandals Resorts International, and now going even further, we're building a university in my late father's honor, the Gordon Wood Stewart International Hospitality School, which will be based in Jamaica, but a Caribbean, a regional platform, is designed to pick up academia at the highest levels in hospitality, but at the same time layer in the Sandals, the Sandals fashions and swag of how it is that we built this world-class brand in this developing part of the world. So it's training and exposure. We start with a bedrock here in the Caribbean that is second to none anywhere in the world. Caribbean nationals have amazing personalities. You smile at a Caribbean national, they're going to smile back at you. They love to be happy. Euphoria lives within their DNA and their veins. So our job is to expose them, give them the world-class training and development, and polish our diamonds all the way through until they can compete on the world stage at any level. And I think that's probably our greatest asset, even beyond the sun, sand, and sea, is our people and their ability, their attitude and aptitude to being world's best. And it's what's made Sandals world best. With you at the World Travel Awards for all these years, over and over, and we're trying to do it at a more nationalistic, trans-Caribbean level now, and I think all of that's going to really have a lot to do with who we become as a tourism region.
So much of your success and growth has been through your innovative use of technology, and I guess living in an even more connected age as we are today. Could you share a little bit about sort of what your kind of plans are and how you're going to continue to kind of innovate using sort of technology?
Yeah, I mean, the consumers are coming from source markets of the best in the world. So whether it's our UK, continental Europe business, Canada, of course, the United States of America, the Caribbean is right below the United States of America. Consumers today don't have to be sophisticated to interact with sophisticated technology. And the more sophisticated it is usually the simpler it is to use. Sophisticated on the back end. So all of us have to find ways to utilize technology so customers feel compatible and comfortable navigating. We in our company take a philosophy that customers must choose a channel that they feel most comfortable. So whether that's a web, travel advisors, their tour operator, or coming brand direct, we are completely agnostic and channel neutral. So we invest really heavily in each of those channels. And of course, digital, you can't escape it. In today's world, you have to have a back end that gives you, and of course, if you're trying to build an individual brand. So for us, we continue to push, and that runs from the booking engine right down to the next generation of app that the consumers will use on property to just get information fast. And the idea is to get them the information real time, easily, so that they can get to do whatever they want to do, whether that's a tour or just be in a cabana on the beach. So I would really encourage everyone that's a part of this journey to not take the easy road, not rely on what we did in the late 1980s or middle 1990s. The world has really evolved, and consumers expect it.
Adam Stewart, thanks so much for taking time to speak to Break and Travel News.
It's my pleasure. So great to see you guys, and thank you for being here with us at CHD.